Hey all, and welcome back to Bayonetta 2. We've got a mission on our hands, ladies and germs. We gotta go rescue Jean's soul from the pits of hell. And I guess we're taking a journey to Noatun, the city of Genesis, to kick things off.
You begin to notice a lot of Norse going on in Bayonetta 2. It goes very heavy on the Norse. Noatun is the abode of the god Njorda, who's the father of the deities Freya and Freya, and it's located as in heaven.
Hell, no one even knows if it's true or not. The only reason this overgrown rock is worshipped like some god in the first place,
Fimbulwinter, or as it's kind of commonly rendered in English, Fimbulwinter, is the immediate prelude to the events of Ragnarok and means Great Winter.
Hey, I've played God of War, okay, there's a full playthrough on the channel.
Yeah, it's very enjoyable.
Thank you, thank you.
I'll wait for you and know
it goes very heavy on the Norse. I mean, the original Bayonetta did as well, because you had like the Tower of Jormungandr, etc. But this game goes even heavier on the Norse, which I do very much appreciate because I love Norse mythology.
I would say like the two mythologies that people tend to get the most are Egyptian and Norse, maybe Japanese.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the two that probably have permeated culture the most, well, the three would be the Greeks, the Egyptians, and the Norse. But Norse is probably the one that is the most unknowingly seeped into everything. Alex the Kid, nice little Sega reference there. There's obviously continued Sega references throughout, although I think there are a few more Bayonetta references, a few more Nintendo references.
Whoa, look on the plane, she's standing there, it's fucking, oh my god, this is a Sonic reference as well.
That's Fimbulwinter. Not such a bad place when you look at it. Oh, but you gotta have a death wish to get close to that damn place if you ask me.
So there's a whole lot of Norse going on, and we need to reach the top of a mountain.
Yes. Basically God of War.
Yeah, just going back to what I was talking about there.
Makes you wonder whether, you know, the God of War devs saw this and just thought, yes, that's what we need to do for our next game. Let's get to the top of a mountain.
Or maybe it's a complete coincidence and they were going to do Norse anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it probably is a complete and utter coincidence. Just because, obviously, one of the games that the original Bayonetta got compared to a lot, because it came out around the same time as God of War 3, was the God of War franchise.
Of course, yeah.
Because it was that adult hack-and-slash style game. But I have always said that Bayonetta is the better title, in the sense that, I think, gameplay-wise, Bayonetta has pretty much perfected this style of gameplay, and I don't think any franchise has managed to match it yet.
Bold claims from Richie over here. I'll leave it to you all to decide whether he's right. Very similar intro to when Raiden gets his new body, and you know, there's a cat on the beach that does kung fu flips and whatnot.
Yep. The Kung Fu Cat's returned, and also obviously because this is me, and I'm just like, well, why the hell not? It's not that difficult. We are going to be collecting everything.
Oh boy!
So, all 20 Umbran Crows, I believe. I think it's just the 20. All of the Broken Witch Hearts, all of the Broken Moon Pearls. We're going to be breaking open every Umbran resting place. We're going to be doing every single verse. Actually, no, we might miss... Do we miss one? We might miss one crow because you need a certain thing later. Or I might come back. I can't remember. We'll see as we go along.
That's fair, mate. I
did record this footage, like, in 2020, so it has been a while since I've seen any of this.
Was this like the LP to christen your new laptop with?
It was indeed, yes. It was around that time, so I just finished doing the Wonderful 101 and recording that on my old laptop, which didn't clearly, like, I thought, oh yes, this has gone perfectly fine, and then obviously on having the final review of it, when we tried to start doing the commentary, and then it was just like, oh, this is quite buggy footage. Oh, buggery hell. So it had to be put to bed for now, until I can go back and record.
Yeah.
But following that, I did get a new laptop, because I was just like, this is just becoming unbearable. This thing is just way too old and slow now. And I mean, to be fair, it's done me a very good job, that laptop did.
It has.
But it was outdated, and I needed a new one, so I got a new one, and this was the first playthrough to christen it. And it was glorious, because it was just like, oh my god, I can do like 1080p, I can do 60 frames per second, and it's absolutely fine. Whereas my old laptop would have burst into flames.
Yeah, it would have. And you too, probably, if that happened.
Probably. I mean, like, it could do 720, 60 FPS, but it was struggling, especially with games like Bayonetta 2 and The Wonderful 101, where there's a lot going on screen. They're very heavily intensive. It was something that just needed dealing with there.
I gotta say, Noatun is a spectacularly nice looking city. Is it based on anything in particular?
I think it's sort of Venice inspired.
Definitely looks it. Oh my, it looks like Soliana.
It does, yes. Let me just see if it pops up on the Bayonetta wiki.
Alright, I'm just gonna watch him run around like a panther.
So yeah, so the environmental artist travelled to Italy and Belgium, and yeah, elements of Bruges, Florence and Venice were used to create Noatun.
Very cool. You had to make me sweat a little bit there, didn't you?
Well, of course. I mean, so those particular resting places, you have to find the different pieces along the way, and it's all timed. Some are easier than others. That one's pretty okay, but some of them may be a little bit more challenging than I would like. I'm gonna bloody get them all, but still.
Now, obviously, this panther form was one of the things acquired in the first game, so it's a sequel that does things right by bringing over stuff you acquired in the previous game to just enhance the gameplay in the sequel. I love that sort of thing.
Yes, although I will say the only power that you get to keep is Panther Within. You do need to go and purchase Bat Within and Crow Within again.
Okay.
But I suppose that part of that is because in the original game you had to purchase them there as well, whereas you actually got Panther Within as part of the narrative. That is something that we're going to go into in a second, but before we do, I just wanted to pick up a chest which is sitting around in here somewhere. This actually introduces the first instance of Bayonetta being able to, you know, just go underwater. Obviously we did do a little bit a few moments ago, but in the original game she was not able to do anything underwater. This time we get a little bit of underwater combat. Yeah,
like I would say if I were to compare the two, a lot of underwater stuff is what first comes to mind when I think of Bayo 2. None of that at all in the first game.
Yeah, more underwater, more aerial, and so on and so forth. But this is a Muspelheim. Basically, it's the same as the Elfheims in the original game. They are little battle challenges to give you a bit more of a challenge, and beating one of them will unlock either a witch heart, broken witch heart, or broken moon pearl.
Very cool.
It's a different realm, obviously. Alfheim is the realm of the Light Elves, and Muspelheim is the realm of fire.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's also a battle-like area in God of War as well.
Yeah, so home to the fire giants and guarded by Surtur. But yeah, so I wonder which realm they will go to for Bayonetta 3, because they're going to have to go to one of them.
Yes, indeed so.
What I'm just pointing out there is an Umbran Tears of Blood, a crow, that we can't get right now. we need Crow within to get to that little blighter.
Oh, son of a bitch!
So, we can't get to it whatsoever. And I'm just sort of sat here just going, eh? Really? But I think it was also just going, right, I need to sort out this camera because that's not working as I was expecting it to. I need to make sure that it's working for me. And I was just like, no, maybe I can do it. I'm just like, no, I can't. But let's just see if I can slightly break the game. No, you literally cannot. You need Crow within in order to get that. It's still a challenging Crow to get. But still, there's also a couple of other things that you can't get on your first trip through this chapter.
Ah.
You need an ability that you don't get until chapter 5, funnily enough, which is the time that you got the wonder that is Panther within, well, Beast within, in the original Bayonetta.
Cool.
So I do believe, actually, we will be returning to do a speed run of this chapter a little bit later.
Fair enough, mate. You gotta pick up your collectibles.
Like, I want all of my broken witch hearts and broken moon pearls. I want everything. Therefore, if I must come back, I will come back. I can't say it's something that filled me with joy, considering this is literally the only chapter in the game where this is required. But, hey, it happens, we make do.
You're not dealing so well with these lads. Were they annoying you a little bit?
It was more... because obviously, the first time playing the game in a very long time, it was just getting used to the speed and tempo of battle underwater. Because it is slightly slower underwater. Everything has a slight sluggishness to it, as you would expect, because you're literally moving through water. But it was just, yeah, just getting used to that again, which is a little bit of just going, oh, I don't quite remember how this works, but I've got it. It'll sort of stay in there. But also, to be fair, I've never been the best at always avoiding enemies in Bayonetta. If I was, I would be getting pure platinums absolutely everywhere.
Have you managed to pure platinum either of the games so far?
No, and I don't think I ever will, because as much as I love Bayonetta, and as reasonable as I am at it, I am not that good.
Fair enough.
You have to know these games down to a T in order to pull off those pure platinums, and I just don't. In part because, you know, I don't have the patience or the desire to sit down with the game long enough to master it like that. People do, and they have done it, and it's great that they have done it. It's always wonderful to see.
Well, I mean, they call it pure platinum for a reason. You gotta be on the same level as the devs who made the fucking thing.
Is that all you've got?
Trying to get into Witch Time when you're just waiting for enemies to move is just like, oh, come on, move it, you lazy buggers.
Alright, mate, just have patience, you'll get it.
Is that all you've got?
There you go.
Took you a little bit of time, just waiting for the enemies to attack. What I could have done is used a taunt to get them to come and attack me faster. But... which would have, you know, got me probably a pure platinum there. But because when you taunt, you also make the enemies more aggressive, you do put yourself at greater risk of getting hit. So it's a risk and reward strategy with enraging your opponents.
Remind me what the pearls do, mate.
So the Moon Pearls are your magic for the game, so they control your ability to go and do a torture attack or to go into Umbran Climax.
Right.
So you want to have as much as possible because you need a full bar of either to do one of the moves, which obviously is a lot, but obviously the more Moon Pearls you get, the more you get to use those abilities, so it's always worth picking them up.
You know, we said this was sort of a Christmas game. It is funny seeing red and green on screen at most times. Oh, there we go. I was getting bloody waterlogged there.
The reason that I did that is because there's a hidden verse back here.
Oh, you cheeky buggers.
Now, one of the things that you will notice is that I do use Umbran Climax, and I will use it more as we get along. But I don't use it nearly as much as I probably could do. In part because it is that whole thing of, in these early stages anyway, you risk killing the enemies too early to build up a decent combo meter. Also, picking up Angel's weapons, really helpful because you can cause some absolute chaos and get some good points in as well.
Oh, we know this, mate. You picked up the trumpet at the previous game and went toot-a-loot, check out my flute.
Santa don't get paid enough for this shit. When Ed and Edna found their daddy wasn't coming back, it made me stay all the way through dinner.
I fucking hate turkey. I'm more of a goose guy.
I hear Enzo's wife makes a lovely casserole.
It was damn good. I'll give you that.
There's a like, kind of playful relationship between all these characters. They like kind of like hate each other, but not really.
Yeah, it is like full-on banter of basically what Yumi and Flame and Tanner do all the time to each other, are just like shit on each other to the highest degree, but we get away with it because we're just like, well, we do care about each other, we are all friends, but it's because we're friends that we can get away with it.
Exactly, and there was no better showing of that than yesterday, November 24th, my 33rd birthday, where I had a massive outpouring of love and support, and it was in no small part including Richie and the others.
Yeah. So it's always nice when you've got that type of friendship.
Indeed. Call back to the first game there, by the way.
And now we are going to go to the Gates of Hell because, for the love of God, I need Bat Within and Crow Within.
You sure do, mate.
I mean, I definitely need Bat Within because I need some way of protecting myself if I'm slightly too slow on the button.
Welcome to the Gates of Hell. We've lit our prices on fire, so there won't be hell to pay. Come on, I gotta say some cheesy shit sometimes.
It's right on me. I think he might just be me.
Something else that came into Bayonetta is the ability to use Amiibo.
I was gonna say.
So you can pop them in, and you can unlock just some extra halos and stuff. And then, yeah, we're just gonna... Oh, we don't have enough halos for that. Oh, well!
How could you, Richie? You've let me down.
I know. It's a shame, but it's fine. Must don't have enough of those, but we'll get enough. It's all good. I'm just sort of rolling through, making sure we sort of have a look at things. You can get the Super Mirror 2 immediately if you want it, which gives you some... And the Super Mirror 64 2. I believe the Super Mirror 64 2 gives you the Nintendo-specific outfits, specifically created for the game, so you can be Princess Peach, Princess Daisy, Samus Aran, Link, and Star Fox.
His name is Fox McCloud.
Yes, I know it's Fox McCloud, but still.
Star Fox is Thanos' brother, thank you very much.
This is true. Now played by Harry Styles.
Why are they bringing him in now when the Thanos arc is over? I don't know. I don't understand.
Because Eternals? We'll see how it all goes.
I guess so.
It's really quite cool, particularly the Fox outfit, because it changes Love is Blue into R-Wings. So the guns become R-Wings, with the little figures being Fox, Slippy, Falco, and Peppy. Also does some really other cool things. So in the first mission, it changes the fighter jet into an R-Wing.
Fuck yeah, buddy.
And it may do a little something else in the final level as well. You won't be seeing it this time around because we're not showing off extra runs, we're just doing the main story and that's your lot.
Thank you!
But if you want to see what happens when you wear the outfit during that section, and also I'll tell you anyway when we get there, you will just be need to go and have a look at my original solo run.
Again, it's on the channel, so...
I can't remember whether I have to do this one twice or not.
Come on, mate, speed up a little bit.
I know, gotta go fast.
I really want them to reveal Sonic Frontiers properly before the end of the year, I gotta say.
Ditto, because we have been waiting long enough, and I'm not sure how much patience I have left with Sonic outside of the second movie coming out.
Yeah, also the Encyclopedia.
That too, yes.
You gonna be picking that up, mate?
Probably not. But that's fine. I'm slightly selective with the art books and compendiums that I pick up. Obviously, I've played a lot of Sonic, and I do have a love of the franchise, but I don't know whether my love is that strong for it, and it's certainly died off in the past few years with the madness that we have been delivered.
Yeah, I'm more of a Sonic guy anyway, so it makes sense for me to want to pick it up. So I got that pre-ordered, that's coming for Crimbo. There was a bit of a to-do recently when it was revealed that it is actually not, in fact, a lore book as Amazon described, but it's very similar to the Zelda and Mario encyclopedias, which are excellent, but they're not lore books and they won't tell you the size of Eggman's penis, so what's the point?
Which, I mean, fair, but also people really wanted to know the size of Eggman's penis. I mean, it's the internet, of course they did.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't expect you to clap back. Flame is a very bad influence, what can I say?
It was Flame, of course. I mean, why should I be surprised? Although, in a way, I'm slightly surprised that he was asking about Eggman's and not Bowser's, but I suppose different franchises.
That's it. Push all the blame onto Flame. He can take it.
Actually, I mean, with the outfit in Bayonetta, if you are wearing the Princess Peach or Princess Daisy outfit, your Wicked Weaves, which are normally Madama Butterfly, turn into Bowser.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Which is awesome. Also, all of the halos turn into rings. Not rings, coins.
I was going to say, wow, that's a senior moment.
That is indeed a senior moment. If you're using Link, all of the halos turn into rupees, which is great, and I love it.
There was a lot of Zelda love going around at that time, because Hyrule Warriors was unveiled roughly around the same time, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think it was just one of those points in time where everyone's just like, yes, Zelda, we love it!
Dreadful.
I wouldn't say that was dreadful, that was pretty good actually.
I know, it's so rude how she's insulting my gameplay. I mean, it wasn't a pure platinum, so of course it was dreadful.
Yeah, it does seem to be time that's letting you down on these things.
It usually is, but the general approach is, as long as the overall is a platinum, we're all good. Obviously, there will be missions that are not. There will be verses that get me a gold. Some will be a silver. I can't remember whether there's any bronzes in there or not. But on the whole, we are going for a reasonable level of quality with this gameplay.
Good stuff. Okay, can we finally move forward now? Have you had your fill of collectibles?
I believe we have, yes. So we are now going to progress the story.
Thank you, Jeebus. Oh wait, sorry, you already killed the creator, never mind. Humpst.
I know, rude. And right here is probably everyone's least favourite character in Bayonetta 2. Basically, our replacement for Cereza, from the original game, but is obviously nowhere near as cute.
He's got the Millennium Puzzle, which is pretty hype.
I think everyone sort of had a moment just going, oh my god, that's amazing, I kind of love it, but also, what the hell?
I mean, he throws cards, so, like, was that an intentional reference?
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
But at the same time, you haven't really heard anything about it being one.
Yeah, I haven't, so...
I'm never going to reach Fimbulventer at this rate. Well, at least it won't be a...
It might just have ended up being one of those things like Eggman the Destroyer in the original game, where it was not intended as a reference, but it's very clearly a reference, and somehow it ended up being one, even though it was never intended.
You're putting on quite a show, little magician.
Oh, you like that, huh?
You know, whenever I think about this character, whose name will be revealed at some point, I'm not going to give it away now, for some reason I always think of George from Metal Gear Rising.
Yeah, no, I totally get that.
I expect him to have the same voice, is what I mean.
Not a million miles away in terms of being a slightly peculiar accent.
Who the hell are you?
I'm just an innocent little girl lost in Wonderland, suffering at the hands of the Queen's trumped-up troops.
Okay, you read, I get it.
Also going a little bit more ham on the wonderful Alice in Wonderland references that appeared throughout the original, and a sort of part of Bayonetta's vibe. She's very much linked in with Alice in Wonderland.
Are we heading to Fimbulventer on a shopping trip for Mummy, little one?
Maybe. But she told me never to talk to strangers.
I'm not strange, I'm just a 7-foot-tall, leather-wearing goddess is all.
Exactly! And it's moments like this where she, like, completely bends down to look at him. It's just like... yeah, no, she is a giant.
Damn it.
Someone put a hole in the card. That resale value has just fallen through the floor.
They must have heard me.
Also, correcting myself, it's not leather, it's hair.
It's Heather!
There you go. Alright lads, what silly name do you have?
This is... Accolade.
Right, here's all the 10 out of 10s Bayo 2 garnered.
I mean, it did very well in terms of the critical reception, which makes so much sense because it's a fantastic game.
I'm actually going to look up the Open Critic for Bayonetta for Wii U. Let's have a look here. Let's see. 85 top critic average, 92% of critics recommend it is currently mighty. Now let's look at Bayonetta 2. Bayonetta 2 for Wii U. 91% top critic average, 95% critics recommend.
That's about right. The one thing that I do remember, which was kind of hilarious at the time, was I think it was the Polygon review that for some reason was oddly critical of Bayonetta being a very sexual protagonist.
It's fucking Polygon, mate, what do you expect?
I know, but it was one of those things of just going, do you realise what game you're playing here? That this is expected, but also entirely in line with the character, and also she was designed by a woman. So while there is obviously a whole discussion about male gaze, etc., her actual visual look was designed by a woman who was focused on fashion and what made her feel powerful. So it's like, well, actually, there you go.
Well, I mean, there's the whole puritanical thing that we can get into, but I think we covered the whole gamut in the first playthrough, so let's not do that again here.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, there is a discussion that I do want to have regarding Bayonetta 2.
Okay.
And its handling of that whole approach, but that is something that doesn't really become important until later, and it's more just my issues with a particular thing that Bayonetta 2 does that the original Bayonetta didn't, but we will get there.
I think I actually might know what you're talking about, but let's not give the game away now and just pick up a new weapon instead. It is Christmas, the gift-giving season.
You found a good reason to visit. You know, I'm all about
And of course, the Angelic Hymns Gold LPs return.
Still one of the most aesthetic ways to get a new weapon. Just pick up a friggin' LP.
I play that back home, and the demons will be lined up to get down. Lucky for me, I got a few jams of my own cooking that'll need a little demon kick to finish them off. That LP is just what the doctor ordered.
Well, thank you. What can I say? You know, I try.
Uh-huh. So, this piece of music here is Entrance of the Gladiators.
Do. So I was thinking of theme park for a second.
But yeah, composed by Julius. Oh god, I want to butcher this. Futzik.
Cause neither did I.
And the weapon we get from it is the Rakshasa blades.
Twin blades to kick things off here. Very nice.
So rather than getting a single blade, which was Sharaba in the original game, these are Rakshasa, and you can have 2 swords on your hands and also on your feet.
Woohoo!
They are modelled after the Sosun Pata, which are curved Indian swords.
Very cool.
And they basically are the equivalent for Sharaba in this game. They are the sword, so they are powerful, but the combo count is less. So if you have the either of the Bayonetta amiibos from the Smash Bros.
Bros?
Basically, you can immediately unlock the super mirrors and get all of that immediately. And then for other things, you just get a bunch of messages.
Fair enough.
So this was me using up all the amiibos that I have, all 4 of them. I have Bayonetta 1 Bayo, Bayonetta 2 Bayo, and then, oh god, I think it's Arm and Celica from Fire Emblem Gaiden?
Okay.
I can't remember what the game's called anymore.
No, I think you were right though. It's the remake of the thing.
Yes, which is very good actually, and I really like those characters. And I have those because my my parents decided to get me them when I got the game.
Bless. Yeah, baby, it's sword time.
Yep. Also, because of obviously putting in those amiibos, we have Sharaba there as well, and we also have the return of Scarborough Fair if we so choose.
Which do you prefer between the guns from the first game and the guns from the second?
Personally, I prefer Scarborough Fair to Love is Blue. I think that I just prefer having that punch punch kick 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 combo. It is a godsend in pretty much every instance that you could possibly imagine. But obviously we're playing Bayonetta 2, therefore, you know, we should be doing the decent thing and making use of the Bayonetta 2 weapons.
Ooh. Oh boy, here we go. What's your name, little fella?
Well, this guy's got a nice little reference, which makes me very happy.
Alright, I'm waiting for it.
If you're looking for the kid, he went that away.
Just gotta wait for, you know, his announcement bits to be given.
Eyes of the World reference to the first game.
So, this is Valiance. The sword that he uses, which, you know, has his face on it,
I don't have time to dance too long.
is the Valiantium blade.
Oh, okay.
A nice little reference to Wonder Blue in the Wonderful 101.
We're still doing that playthrough, by the way. Look for it roughly about February to March-ish next year.
Yeah, I need to sit through and record it, so it's going to be after whenever that is. Because first, you know, I need to finish off playing through Near Replicant version 1.224.6.23.700, whatever it is. I'm just on the final ending of that, and then I've got 2 other games I want to want to play so that I don't have a backlog at the end of the year before I move on to re-recording the wonderful 101. In part hoping that, you know, the DLC that we are expecting because of the Kickstarter campaign may or may not come out in that time. It's not going to. We're going to be waiting forever.
We can do the DLC whenever we feel like, mate. It's the main campaign that people want to see.
Yeah, so we will get there and we'll do that. But I just need a little bit of extra time just to chill and enjoy my video gaming before I return to recording.
No, you must be constantly stressed out at the thought of recording Let's Plays. I thought like that once. Thankfully, I don't anymore.
Yeah, and thank God for that, because it's not a fun place to be.
No, it's not.
Woohoo!
All that damage, mate.
I know. To be honest, I will take that because it was it was not going well. The balance of how Bayonetta 2 does its levels is a little bit off, if you ask me.
How so?
So, this first chapter is like nearly an hour long.
Well, you are going out of your way to get, like, non-essential stuff.
I am, but literally none of the other chapters lasts this long.
Thank God, just from a recording standpoint.
Apart from the finale.
Okay, that's fair. I'm fine with a long final part.
Yeah, literally, the finale is the only level that lasts this long. Everything else is around, at most, kind of the half an hour mark.
Right.
The reason that I sort of think that that's a little bit off is because in the original Bayonetta, it was only around, like, chapter 5 where you got, like, a really long level, which was quite challenging.
Oh, I remember.
And, I mean, that was, like, a massive difficulty curve in the original, because it introduced you to Grace and Glory, and those guys are assholes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the fact that the first level is so long in comparison to everything else. It's a bit like, oh, this is a bit much. Also, I will get that crow.
It's okay, mate. You don't have to front. I'm fine.
And then there is another chest over here.
I see it. I saws it.
A little bit of a challenge to get to. Thankfully, if you bugger it up, as I might do myself here. Oh no, I was alright. It is possible to get back up here to pick it up afterwards. There is a route back up to the top level, which I think some guide said that there weren't, but there is. So it's alright if you screw that up, you can get back up to get it.
Oh, face bird.
So this is Cachet and Compassion.
Was Compassion really not an enemy in the first game?
No, it was not.
Jesus.
As you can see, I was having a bit of an interesting time on the start of this, but also introducing the whole fact of, yes, I can use wonderful lollipops this time around and not lose any of my rankings. Thank the Lord.
Kamiya bless.
Things I'm just like, yes, I appreciate this, because also it made it so much easier for me when I did choose to do the higher difficulties of Bayonetta 2 in my original recording.
Uh-huh.
Although I think they actually ended up changing the names for the Switch version, because I'm pretty sure in the original it was first climax, second climax, third climax for easy, normal, hard, and then it was
Have you been naughty?
fourth climax and non-stop infinite climax for the harder difficulties. I think they did similar changes on the Wonderful 101. I think the idea was to make it clearer to people what difficulty you were actually going to be playing on.
No wonder your guardian angels tried to
Because
give you a good
if you don't understand the sort of phraseology, it's not necessarily clear what to expect from the difficulty level, and it's not as accessible. But hey.
Take two of us, won't it, love?
You seem to have skipped school the day they taught basic negotiations.
They don't teach negotiation skills in school. They don't even teach you how to do your taxes.
No, they don't. They really should do. Like, there's a lot of stuff that they should actually teach you at school, rather than wasting your time on very poor examples of everything else.
Huh. Don't know what I was expecting.
About that trick. See? You need my power too.
There you go.
That works too, I suppose.
I don't have time to give a shit about who you are.
I mean, this is the no-nonsense Bayonetta that we've all come to love.
She ain't got time for this, like, fucking monkey shines bollocks business.
Exactly. It's like she's got her bestie to save.
Before I show you the way, love, you gotta agree to a little condition.
Do we need to go over my lesson again? First, learn to talk to a lady.
Quite so. You need to be a gentleman.
And if you don't know how, talk to your mom.
I don't react to being called little one. The name's Loki.
There we go.
I call you love.
Which should give you a whole bunch of stuff about what type of character Loki is. He is a trickster. He is an interesting one.
Sarasa.
And yeah, so Loki is voiced by Mark Doherty.
Name rings a bell.
Let me have a look at what his IMDb says.
Hey! I just told you my name is...
You'll earn your name when you become a man.
So he's done a few things. I mean, he was in Captain Marvel. Nothing else of particular major. No, but he's been an extra in a lot of things.
Okay.
Yeah, obviously, Bayonetta is voiced by the incredible Helena Taylor once again. Dave Fennoy is back as Rodan. Grey Griffin is back as Jean. We also heard, way back at the beginning of the prologue, Grant Albrecht back as Boulder. And yeah, it's all great. They got most of the cast back. Well, all of the cast back, apart from Enzo.
Hey, you can't go wrong with the friggin' Crypt Keeper.
Exactly.
There you go. Another time-displaced thing for you to destroy.
Yes, it all needs destroying.
It sure does, mate. It has goodies inside, and you know how I feel about collectibles.
Well, I guess we need them. Full stop.
Indeed we do. Yeah, you could have just opened that door normally, but who am I to judge?
Well, no, you have to kick down doors. It's the way these things work.
To be fair, it's an action game. It would be weird if they just slowly open the door Resident Evil style.
Yeah.
You motherfucker, did you lead me into an ambush here, Loki?
I don't think he did it intentionally, and he is going to fight alongside us. So, there is at least that.
Fighting with cards is pretty cool, you know. I always liked Gambit from the original X-Men cartoon.
I wonder whether we'll ever see Gambit in the MCU.
I guess we'll have to wait for the X-Men to, you know, make their appearance first, but there is actually, crazily enough, a sequel to X-Men called X-Men 97 coming out for Disney+.
I know, which is insane.
Can we get Spectacular Spider-Man, please?
Who knows? Maybe.
Because, I mean, I don't think, like, X-Men, the Fox X-Men is going to be connected to the MCU one. So it makes sense why there could be a different Spider-Man thing, in addition to, you know, Tom Holland.
Oh, of course, and who knows? We don't know how... At this moment in time when we are recording this commentary, we don't know how No Way Home is going to end yet. So anything could be happening. Yes, Urbane.
First name Carl.
So yes, Urbane is adjective for a person who is courteous and refined in manner. I wouldn't say that's necessarily quite apt for this hulking brute.
That's the whole thing with the Angels, isn't it? They're kind of the opposite of what they represent.
He is the first instance of an enemy, I believe, that has an element attached to him.
Oh yeah!
So he is a fire angel, and if you use ice against him, he is weak against it, and vice versa. Which is cool. It's not used over much, but it is certainly there.
Nicely done, mate. You handled that like a pro.
Well, it's because I am a pro. I may have, you know, had a bit of a muddled time earlier on, but I am generally a pro at this.
That's why you got a platinum instead of a pure platinum.
Yeah, that's why I'm a pro and not a pure platinum pro.
So where are we going now, exactly?
We've got a hidden verse to get.
Ah, okay. You seem to have gotten your second wind at this point in the level, mate.
Yeah, it was at this point of going, okay, I remember how this works. Because the thing is, it's all about the timing. Always has been, always will be. And if you've got the visual cues and the sound cues for when you're meant to do your dodging, it's bliss, and you just dance through the whole thing.
Ooh, baby.
I think that's why I love the gameplay style for Bayonetta so much, and why I'm perhaps a little apprehensive of how Bayonetta 3 is going to handle it, because it looks like it's changing up a few things with the gameplay loop. It feels like a dance, and when you're playing and you're doing well, and it's just awesome to experience. And yes, right now I think I'm just looking at, what have I got? What do I need? Do I need anything else? What am I doing? I don't even know. That's sort of my thought process, as you'd expect.
Well, this is basically the longest level in the game, bar the finale.
Yep, and also, diplomacy has failed! Wonderful 101 reference.
Very good.
Yes, there are quite a few video game references in Rodin's speeches, as you would expect. They were there in the original, but they're here once again. And I still can't really get anything, but I am going to just buy a red hot shot. Just in case.
Just in case.
Because, as I said, I wasn't that bothered about the rankings this time around. So, it was just like, well, if it goes south once, fine. It's not the end of the world.
The worst thing for me is when, like, you've been trying to record a thing for so long, and you finally end up making progress, but it's like a kind of sloppy take, but you have to use it.
Yeah, and it's just like, really? So, you just sort of take it. But yes, there is a hidden verse in the water here, because of course there is.
Of course there is.
I do wonder how you're meant to figure out where half these hidden verses are sometimes, but I'm not really that bothered, because it's just like, well, I know where they are now, so I'll just roll through them.
Well, they're meant for, like, repeated plays, these levels, aren't they?
Exactly. It's all about finding where the hole is and mastering it.
There you go, there's the classic line.
If you want to learn how to talk to a lady, ask your mum.
That's a Kamiya line.
It is indeed.
Booyah, baby. Thank you, health refill. If that ever happens in a game, and you put together all the things to get more health and you don't get a health refill, you failed as a game designer. I'm sorry. I don't have, like, many caveats or, requirements for game design. That's one of them.
Yeah. This is basically the first boss fight that we're going to come up against.
Very cool.
Definitely one of my favourite enemies, and definitely one of my favourite boss fights in the game, actually. Obviously not what we're about to face right now. This is very much similar to when we fought 42Do in the original Bayonetta that was also in Chapter 1, actually, when we first encountered 42Do. This is very similar to how that worked, just a bit more in-depth.
There's a lot of parallels between the two games. Some probably intentional, others not so much.
Yeah, and I would say that the way that I have always looked at Bayonetta 1 and Bayonetta 2 is that they are, and I think it's how the devs looked at it as well, they are two halves of the same coin. I mean, that's very much how the narrative is gonna work, as you will see. Bayonetta 2 does certain things better than the original. There are some things I would say Bayonetta 1 is better than this one, and so they are connected, and as a duology, it's perfection. But yes, I do like this fight. I don't know why they don't tell you the name of this enemy, but it's called Glamour. I do love this fight, and I do love Glamour as a whole, because it's a great design. And also it goes for that epicness of, we're fighting in the air, flipping all the way around. And then also, this is one of the times we got it with Valiance, but we get the full Madama Butter flying out.
Ooh, yes.
And she stomps the hell out of him. Mwah! Beautiful.
Classic Bayonetta stuff. Big old dragon lad comes along, you say no, he dies, the end.
And Bayonetta just saves everybody else nice and easily without much of a problem.
Thank you, giant woman.
All this sovereign business about. Not a clue, love.
Yeah, whatever, Loki. Secret keeping bastard.
Well, whatever. If your sovereignness is going to get in my way, our deal is over. And if we're going to have to meet any more of your friends, you'd better learn to take care of yourself.
It's alright, I got that fang on me. I got some man-eater bugs. They ain't gonna know what's coming.
More tricks, little magician.
So yes, that squirrel that we met right at the start of the game, that was Loki.
Well, of course, he has the same bling.
Stay here and don't get.
And he gets a lovely place to walk along with us. He just, stays inside Bayonetta's tits.
Okay, Richie, fair enough. Very cool looking guy. Oh, I like this game. 50-minute parts taken out of me.
Ditto. There are a lot. I can cope with it in other games usually, but Bayonetta's very intense.
It sure is. It sure is. If you guys have stuck around, thank you very much. We'll see you next time, where it's going to be a shorter part, thankfully.